Hello everyone, my name is Sick and welcome back to another ArmA free Eden editor tutorial. Today I wanted to keep things pretty short, but I wanted to discuss something that I used a lot in one of my missions that you might have noticed, which is called Operation Flaming Eagle, and it concerns combat interruptible special animations. So today I wanted to show you how to get that done and how to put that in the game, because it can really add a lot to the feel of a base that you need to attack. So what I wanted to do today, I am on Proving Ground, which is one of the ArmA 2 DLC maps, I believe. And yeah, I figured I would place some enemies around this compound and then have some AI soldiers attack it, and then you can see some of the custom animations at work and how they will be interrupted by combat. Right? So it's pretty simple, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to start off with let's see, I'm going to put a sniper on the roof. Let's see, where do we have a marksman. Yep, so let's put him on the edge of the roof there. And then what we need to do is we can go to tools, then the functions viewer, and then there is the ambient anim combat part, and there's a bunch of different things, but we need to be in config files. And then you have you know, a lot of other things, where, like in which part of the game they need to look. But we're going to look in all. And then you have a lot of other options as well, but we need to be in ambient. And there's a difference between ambient anim and ambient anim combats, of course. And the answer to that is pretty simple already, because the ambient animations, there are a lot more of them, but they cannot be interrupted by combat. Okay, so if you put this on an enemy soldier and you walk in front of him, he will not react to you. So with the ambient anim combat, there are a lot less, but these will be interrupted by them seeing an enemy soldier. They will actually go into combat mode. Right, and there's a few. There's stand IA, which is the default A3 animations for standing with the rifle lowered. Stand is standing still, slightly turning to the sides, needs a rifle. Sit low is sitting on the ground with a weapon. This looks best when you put them up against the wall, and it takes a little bit of trial and error. Then you have kneel, kneeling with weapon. Lean, standing while leaning on a wall. Again, it needs a wall, because otherwise it just looks really weird, because the animation that he uses, you cannot do it in the open, because it just doesn't, the body doesn't work that way. You're gonna fall over, basically, so it looks really weird. And then you have watch 1 and watch 2. Okay, and there's an example bit of code over here that you can just copy and paste, which is this part right here. And you don't need a little thing in the middle here. This thing you can basically cut out, including the comma, right? So let's see, yeah, up until here, this is the bit of code that you don't need. This basically tells you that the player needs to be this certain amount of distance away from the enemy for him to react, or he needs to be this close before he can react. And this could be okay for like stealth scenarios and things like that, maybe. Allows the player to sneak by a little bit better, even if the AI does spot them, but the player needs to get too close before he gets seen. But overall, I don't feel like you need this. I think it's better if that when the AI sees you or sees an enemy soldier, they cut out their animations and they just go straight to combat, basically. But I'm going to copy and paste this entire thing, of course, first. And then I'm going to go to my marksman. Right, and then I'm going to cut out this little bit that we don't need, including the comma. So in the end, the code that we need looks like this. And you can change some of this stuff around. So stand, I'm going to make it, let's say, watch 2. And there is this little bit as well, full. And I'm not going to change that here, I'm just going to leave it as is. But I'm going to jump back into the config editor to show you, or the functions viewer. Because that is basically the part that describes what kind of gear he has, right? And so you can have you can say none, which means he has no goggles, no headgear, no vest, no weapon. You can say light, no goggles, headgear, or vest, but he does have a weapon. Medium, no goggles, no headgear. Full is just no goggles. As is does not touch the gear, so you can give the trooper the gear that you want him to have, and then the game will leave it at that, which is default. and then random, which randomizes the gear according to the animation set, right? So maybe I should just use as is. We can do that. So let's open up our marksman again, go to full, and then put as is. And then yeah, let's jump into the scenario and have a look at what he's doing. Right, as you can see, he's turning around a little bit, and this is not the regular animation that that characters use. Regularly, they just stand there with their rifle down, like let's see, let's jump into the camera, like my characters do right now. Then they will just keep standing there like this, and nothing else will be happening. But this guy, he's yeah, let's turn up the time. He's looking around in all directions, and he's just kind of relaxed, as you can see. And there's a bunch of different ones, right? So, back into the editor. We can have a bunch of these guys standing around. We can have a rifleman, and let's say we can put him inside over here. We can copy and paste this as well. And I'm going to remove this bit again. Change this to as is. And then maybe let's just have him watch. And this is kind of cool. Like if you are attacking this place and you're looking through your binoculars, you know, you can see the enemy just moving around and having a little bit of different animations, which is kind of neat, I think, anyway. Let's see, we could have yeah, we could dress this up a little bit. So let's have a barrel with fire, or yeah, let's see, do we have a barrel fire? Yeah, we do. So let's place one down over here, and then I'm going to get this rifleman. I'm going to copy him, and this guy, let's see, we had watch 2 over here, right? Yeah, so this guy can be watch 1. And then finally, I'm going to copy another guy over here. And I'm going to say sit low. And let's have another look. Like, I'm going to place my character a little bit closer. Look at this. These guys that are just standing around having a little bit of a look. There's not much of fire going on here. Oh yeah, there we go. There's a little bit of a fire. I would have preferred this to be like an open barrel, you know. This guy is a little bit too far away from the wall, as you can see, but if the player is far away, it doesn't really matter. If they're attacking from that direction, when you see him, it looks like he's up against the wall, or you're sitting up against the wall. But if you want to get really anal about it, then you can, and of course, then you can move him around and around until he is finally doing what you want him to do. And then finally, let's have one of these guys stand over here, I suppose. Open him up. And I think it's just lean. Looks like that's correct. And let's go into the scenario one more time. Yeah, so he's turned around in a weird way, as you can see. So it does require a bit of a little bit of trial and error. So if I turn him around like this a little bit, let's see what that does. That looks better, right? That looks a whole lot better. So he's just standing there, and from the side it will look like he's just standing up against the wall, which is kind of neat, because nobody ever really does that. And let's see, let's put another rifleman in front of him. Let's maybe make this guy a machine gunner, because why not? Let's maybe not make him a white machine gunner then. A regular machine gunner, yep, alright. That's good. We have a sniper. We have this dude. We can turn him into, I don't know, squad leader, I suppose. Just for the... There's no real reason for me to do that, but oh well. Because what I want to do now is I want to place down blue fort troops. Let's have a composition of those guys. And let's say, not NATO, but Not the Afrenian army. Oh, we don't have a group for the other guys. Okay. CTRG, no. Doesn't really matter actually, so let's just use the NATO troops. We can have a rifle squad. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to have these guys over here. They should not have a visual quite yet. I don't think, at least. And if they do, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I want to show you what it looks like when the animations get interrupted. So let's see. I'm going to keep myself over here. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to put you behind a car, I suppose. Yeah. All right, now let's go into the scenario. And I'm going to go into the free camera mode. And set time to unpaused so we can just have a look. And how do we hide this stuff again? There is a way to hide the backspace. So backspace hides this stuff. Can we speed up time as well? No. Right, so these guys are moving in. Probably the marksman is going to see them first, but we'll find out soon enough. Maybe even get shot right away, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for this. There we go. This animation just got interrupted because he detected incoming fire. Now he's going down. And I think my character just died. Is that what happened?
Area clear.
Yeah, okay, so my character is dead. That's what happened. Anyway, that showed it pretty well. So that covers it for the basic part of the tutorial. I am going to, let's see, move my character way over here, and I'm going to run this again just so we can have a look at the firefight going on. But yeah, the tutorial part is over, so if you don't want to watch it anymore, that's fine. I'm going to run the scenario one more time and just look at the combat, and yeah. Or actually, another thing that I could do, I think this should work, is when I open up the marksman and I go into this init, I can also say this set unit pause middle. And what this does is it basically sets the unit to a crouch animation, but it is, well, not a crouch animation, it just makes sure that he crouches, okay? But this is negated by the ambient anim combat. So when this this animation gets interrupted, he should go into this mode, right? So I want to try that, and that should work. I think I've done that before. So let's go back into the camera, and yeah, let's go back over to the gas station or the little compound. As you can see, the marksman is still in his ambient animation, but because I just noticed that if this guy gets under fire, he lies down, and when he lies down, he can't be hit because of this wall. And that's smart, but it doesn't make for a good mission, because, you know, if the player actually had to attack this compound and there's a guy lying on the roof and there's no clear way of getting up there, and I don't think there is by the looks of it, no, so you can't get up onto this roof, and that's very, very annoying, because the player would have to deal with this guy on the roof, and you'd have to throw grenades and stuff, and that's really not what you want. So in this case, I want to make sure that he cannot lie down. I don't want him to stand up either, because that's just dumb, but I want him to crouch, because that gives him a little bit of cover, makes him a little bit of a smaller target, and he can still put out fire towards the enemy. And that makes for a much more enjoyable experience. This is the sort of thing you have to worry about in in making missions. Right, so the enemy is getting closer. I can see them over there, a little bit far away. He doesn't see them yet, so I think he will wait until he's under fire. Because his character, yeah, I think where he looks changes by where his head is turned as well. So because I had him face this way doesn't mean he's always watching this way, even if the animation turns him around, right? Which makes sense, but you know, can't always be sure. They're getting very close now. I can't believe they haven't opened fire yet. They did before. There we go. So he interrupted this animation. He decided to keep standing for some reason. And he's dead. The other guys are now interrupted with their animations as well.
Clear.
But they don't see anything. The enemy is still coming over this little hill, I suppose.
Clear.
These guys are just... and this is another thing, right? So these guys, when they get interrupted, they usually will just go down and stay there and they won't move. So something that you might want to do is make sure that these guys group up. And that you have a guy with with a move command somewhere. Maybe I can show you that as well. Maybe this tutorial video will be a little bit longer. So, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. These guys are staying quiet. This is going to be a long firefight, and I've proven my point, right? So, these guys, it's not going to be much of an entertaining firefight. So, let's return to the editor. And what I want to do is I want to give some of these guys a name. So, for example, this can be A1. A2, A3, A4, A5, and the marksman, he cannot get off the roof, so he doesn't need to name, he doesn't need to group up, he just needs to be there and provide accurate fire towards the enemy. And finally, I need one more guy. So let's say we have an officer in the back here, and did I have an A6? No. Alright, so that's good. Now I need to do a couple of things. So I'm going to select this guy, I'm going to go into waypoints, and I'm going to create, actually, yeah, I didn't have him selected. I'm going to create one where he's standing, and then I'm going to create one outside over here, and this could probably be, let's see, something that yeah, seek and destroy, I suppose, and then we give him a completion radius of 150. And so what I want to do now is I want to create a trigger, and we're going to have a fairly big one, and I'm going to place it down over here, and I'm going to call it enemy scene 1. Okay, and let's see, on activation it will be blue 4 detected by op 4. And on condition it's going to be just this, and on activation, and I have to see if I remember this correctly, I think we need this, and then we need A1, A2, A3, A4, A5 with another bracket, join A6. Okay, yeah, that works, so that's correct. And then I'm going to go into the commander's waypoint. I'm going to open that up, and in condition of the waypoint I'm going to say trigger activated enemy scene 1, which means that the officer will stay inside of the building and he will not move past this waypoint until blue 4 gets spotted in the area of this trigger. And once that does happen, he will move to this waypoint, and all of these guys that are standing on the ground, they will join him. And so they won't just be there lying on the ground, they will try to join his formation. So let's have a look at that as well. Right, and I'm going to speed up time a little bit. I can do it now, safely. Don't want to wait around in the editor anymore. Alright, I hear fire. So let's go to the camera mode, it's paused for the moment. Did I hear fire, or did I just mistake that? Let's see. I guess I did mistake that. That's fine. These guys are pretty slow in moving forward. And I can't increase the time any more than 1 in the camera mode, which is a little bit annoying, but oh well. You know what? Close the camera, speed up time by 4 again. And again I heard something, not sure what it is, probably not even the gunfire, but I heard something and they must be getting closer now, so let's have a look. Oh yeah, there they are. This guy's still there. Let's see, where's our officer? Oh wow, this camera is really quick. He's still standing around. He's just waiting inside for any contacts to happen. And I put him inside the building so he doesn't get shot first. Like, he will be one of the last people to be seen. Okay, there we go. People are seen. Guys interrupt their animations. And now they start walking around. As you can see. This officer now moves outside. These guys have moved out of position. Already a few guys are down. But these guys are no longer just standing still. These guys are now moving around, trying to find cover as best as they can. This guy actually moved inside, which is interesting. This guy is trying to shoot through the wall. That's a little bit dumb, but oh well. Overall, the AI is pretty smart in this game, though they of course can do a lot of dumb shit as well. But that's the nature of AI, you know. They will never behave like true humans, at least not for a good while to come, because nobody is prioritizing creating good AI for games. And if you consider in what kind of space they have to work and all the things that they can do, it doesn't matter if they do it really well or as well as a player would, they can do a lot of things, the AI in ArmA. They can fly planes, they can drive tanks, they can drive boats, they can, you know, they can dive underwater, they can they can do pretty much anything. And they're not always going to be doing a good job of it, because there are so many variables and some of the terrain may be difficult and sometimes it's just dumb luck. And another thing that matters as well is that yeah, let's move away from them a little bit. Another thing that matters, of course, is CPU power as well, because the AI, I think, gets a dedicated core to them. And if you have a bad CPU, it means they have less power to work with. So the less power you have to work with, the dumber they will be, if I understand that correctly. And also that means that if you populate a mission with too many enemy soldiers, they all have to share that same power, and the more you add, the dumber they will be. So having a few around should technically make them a little bit smarter, but only as smart as the AI actually can, or is designed to be, of course, you know, that's the thing. But yeah, looks like none of these guys have have lost a guy yet. And I think we lost all of our troops in here. These guys are all dead. He's dead. He's dead as well, wow. Alright, we just have the one guy who's still standing. I think he may be bugged in this position right here. I think that's what's going on. And these guys, they don't see anything. They're being very careful. Staying low. This guy's behind the bushes. He's probably one of the smartest guys in the squad. Trying to conceal himself a little bit. Or maybe even this guy, because he's a little bit concealed and he still can have a look at what's going on. But it's always really funny to me, listening to the AI communicate together. And these guys are actually doing a little bit of bounding overwatch as well, which is sometimes a little bit hard to see, but you will notice if you know to look for it, that sometimes, like, covering fire, like this one guy, he just stays down, then another guy moves, he goes down, now this guy moves. And there's always a few guys standing still while other guys are moving. See, go, I'll cover. This guy is now just standing still and covering while this guy moves up. So they're doing bounding overwatch, but it's not always clear that they are doing this, but now you can really see, which is really nice. It's quite cool, actually. And I think they just killed the last guy as well. Did they? No. He's still alive, but he's not doing anything useful. Alright, anyway, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys for the next one.